and yet the product still gets someone's attention for a fraction of a second. The length of a television commercial. Presentation is certainly important, but you really have to have some buzzword or key phrase in your materials which jumps out at a particular person reviewing the resume in order to get started or get called in. There are some people, though, that believe resumes will be a short-term fad because of these issues. One issue is looking good on camera is a learned skill. Not everybody can pull that off. You are what you look like. So if somebody, an employer, looks at you and may have a predestined conclusion that they don't like the way you look, then they're not going to give you the job. Written communication is more important. The majority of most co-workers' interactions take place by email or written paper. This is true for most large technologically advanced companies, and the trend is going to continue. Phone calls are a rarity, and face-to-face meetings are even rarer. Having face-to-face people skills is important when selling or giving live presentation, but in general, written communication is much more critical. Most jobs never require you to be on camera. How many jobs require you to be on camera? Not very many. Most of those type that do are in the media profession, public relations, and that most of those are on high-level figures from a large organization. 99% of the time in most companies, you're never going to be on camera. You can see all my pictures on Facebook. The real issue is that recruiters want to see pictures of candidates. All they need to do, if they wanted it, all they really need to do is jump on MySpace or Facebook. They can get many people today, young people especially, have these type pages, and they have pictures. And so if an employer really wanted to go into the detail and find pictures, he could just go click on and look up your account. If you decide to use a video resume, there are some tips to make your presentation more professional appearing. You want your resume to explain how qualified you are for the job. You need to dress as if you were for a job interview. Speak clearly and do not make distracting motions. Begin with your first and last name. You can mention more detailed contact information, but be cautious if the video will appear on the public site. Then list your educational background. Next, discuss your qualifications, your job skills, educational things. You can mention any special skills you have if they relate to the job that you're seeking. End by restating your name and thank the watcher for her time. The last thing I want to mention are the pros and cons in using a video resume. The pros of a video resume is an individual can get a sense of a person's personality. That may be a plus in the acting community. In some instances, it can be used to supplement skills. The cons of a video resume. One of the biggest disadvantages of video resumes is that many hiring managers and employers do not have broadband or high-speed internet connections or use incompatible browsers that are needed to watch more email clips. By the time it downloads or a hiring manager reviews it, it can be scanned 5 to 10 traditional paper resumes instead. Another drawback to video resumes is there's no established guidelines for how they should look or how the person should act or the content they should contain. The lack of structure has resulted in a proliferation of video clips containing information that unintentionally discredits the job seeker rather than bolster his or her professional qualifications. And not everyone is comfortable on camera. As you can see, I am not. This just limits the likeness on your video. It was not up to par. The most significant disadvantage to using video resumes is that one carries potential legal ramifications. The possibility of opening a door to a discrimination suit because the person that's hiring you doesn't like the way you look, or if they think you're too big or too skinny. they can make a decision based on that, and that can open up job discrimination. In conclusion, the video resume should not be viewed as a replacement for the paper resume. Old school paper resumes versus new school technology video resumes. If you have strong enough communication skills and impressive work samples that are sought by employers, then stick to the traditional paper resume. A well-executed video resume can provide advantages to certain job seekers, including professionals who are looking for a way to highlight with both skills, technical abilities, and portfolio examples that are not actually, would not actually be on a traditional paper resume. Video resumes can also be especially helpful for entry-level IT professionals who are looking to get a foot in the hiring door but lack a proper resume that dazzles with in-depth professional experience. However, at the current time, the numerous disadvantages associated with the video resume, namely technology barriers, inappropriate content, and potential legal ramifications, explains its significant drawbacks as a tool for applying for jobs. Until these disadvantages have been sorted out and in some way the ramifications of legal action is taken away, then the only logical choice would be the paper resume, the old school paper resume. Thank you very much.